Here at TheGamer, we know more than anyone what a big deal video games are. I mean, it's in our name. That's why some big-time celebrities are keen to get in on the act. Today, we're going to tell you about some celebrity cameos. Stay tuned to the end to see how a pop princess teamed up with an iconic RPG franchise. If this is your first time visiting us, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to TheGamer, and ring that bell to become a member of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Emma Stone. When we look back on it, 2012 was a very good year for gamers. There were so many brilliant games released then, it's hard to know where to start. One of the very best in a series of excellent games was Sleeping Dogs. In case you've never played it, and you should, it's a third-person open-world action-adventure game set in Hong Kong. You play as Wei Shen, a Chinese-American police officer who has to enter the underworld to destroy the Triad Gang. It's dark, gritty, exciting, and a whole lot of fun. Of course, even tough-as-nails cops need some downtime. For Wei Shen, this comes in the form of a date with Amanda Cartwright. If you recognize Amanda's voice, it's because it's from one of modern cinema's finest actresses, the Academy Award-winning Emma Stone. Oh, Emma. Emma is one of those stars who can turn their hand to pretty much any kind of role in any kind of film. If you don't believe us, then consider this. She made her name in the B-movie-tastic Zombieland before taking a step up to playing Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man. She then did a 180 turn, style-wise, getting an Oscar nomination for her role in Birdman, before securing an Academy Award for Best Actress in La La Land. Now that's a resume. Katy Perry. We played a game and we liked it. Guess where we're going with this one? The game we're talking about is The Sims. Actually, we aren't talking about one game, but the whole flippin' series of games. Again, some ultra-hardcore gamers might scoff. Oh, la-di-da. But they're just the sort of games to introduce people to gaming. So we like them, and if you criticize us, you're gonna hear us roar in disapproval. How many Katy Perry puns can we fit in this one? Let's find out. We're not hot and cold about it either, and we'll defend it to the end. Check and check. We aren't the only people who will stand up for the Sims franchise when people want to light fireworks under it and blow it up. No, because there are a range of massive stars who've lent their appearances to this best-selling series of games. While the likes of Cameron Diaz, Christina Aguilera, and Avril Lavigne have all shown up at one point or another, the famous person who can't keep away from the Sim world is the one and only Katy Perry. Yes, the multi-platinum megastar, also known as British comedian Russell Brand's ex, has appeared in a lot of Sims games. First, she was in the trailer for Sims 2 Apartment Life. Then she was in the collector's edition for Sims 3 Showtime Pack. Finally, she capped it all off with the stuff pack Katy Perry's Sweet Treats. We've got to give it to her, she seems to be committed to The Sims. Peter Dinklage. Right now, the single hottest program on TV is Game of Thrones. The fantasy epic based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series of books have won awards and accolades, as well as securing a loyal legion of fans. We don't think it would have been anywhere near as big as it was if it wasn't for Peter Dinklage's bravura turn as Tyrion Lannister. He cemented his star status as the Imp, managing to create a character who combined a certain amount of drunken mischievousness with a strong sense of inner dignity in Game of Thrones, bagging an Emmy in the process. However, not all of his roles has been as well received as Tyrion, the dwarf who drinks and knows things. Sad to say, but his foray into the world of video games didn't go as well as his starring role on HBO's top drama. Destiny was an online-only first-person shooter released in 2014. In it, Peter Dinklage gave his voice to the role of Ghost, an artificial intelligence which guided the player on their quest. Unfortunately, some gamers didn't like the character and blamed the voice actor. Mind you, other people argued he was stuck with the script he was given. Sadly, Bungie decided to re-record the lines. Since the original star was apparently busy with Game of Thrones, the role of Ghost was later taken by Nolan Nathan Drake North. Good decision? Yeah, sure. Liam Neeson. When it comes down to the especially niche character type known as the tough action dad, there's one name on the top of everyone's list. Liam Neeson was already a well-loved and well-respected actor by the time he did Taken in 2008. Heck, he played the lead role in Schindler's List, for God's sakes, which would be challenging enough for any actor. It was his performance as Brian Mills, a retired CIA field agent, who had to rescue his daughter from kidnappers, which gave his career a new lease on life and pushed his roles in a totally different direction. However, it wasn't the first time he'd played someone's father. It may have been the first movie in that sort of role, but he'd done it in a video game. Fallout 3 was a classic rebirth of a franchise, and a small but vital part in it was played by Liam Neeson as someone's dad. The player's character's dad, to be precise. James may not have been in all the action as Brian Mills, but he had the knowledge and wisdom to make a difference. We aren't going to say too much about how his character develops here, because we want to avoid spoilers, but if you played it, you'll know. Even if you hadn't, Liam Neeson's performance brings home such needed humanity to the hellscape of the capital wasteland. Phil Collins. If there's one particularly thoughtful criticism of the Grand Theft Auto franchise, which has been made over the years, is that the series has ended up becoming a little less keen on taking on celebrities and celebrity culture. We aren't 100% sure if it's true, but it's an interesting criticism to make. If there was one moment when the series did go from lambooning the rich and famous to embracing them, it was in one of the more obscure games. Let's face it, while Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories was a worthy addition to the series and its mythology, the fact that it came out on the PSP may have hindered it somewhat. It probably deserved to be on a home console, but it ended up on Sony's portable device. Anyway, it was a game which pretty much shocked the world when it came out. The reason it was able to be so startling was delivering a straight-up cameo. This wasn't one of the many great actors who had played a role in the previous games. No. This was a pop legend and former Genesis drummer and lead singer Phil Collins. You have to rescue him from kidnappers and get him to his concert. Then you get to hear him singing his classic 80s smash hit, In the Air Tonight. There's no satire to it either. It's played straight. Thanks, GTA. The stars of NJPW. Suppose for one moment you had to pick the one country which had the biggest impact on the world of video games. We think it's pretty obvious you'd pick Japan, right? After all, most of the big game companies have a base there. It's where home gaming was reborn and reinvigorated with the shape of the Nintendo Famicom, or NES to anyone outside of Japan. And the look and culture of so many things gamers love are taken from Japan. So it makes sense Japanese gamers get in on the celebrity cameos too. It isn't just a thing for Western players. Even if we don't know them ourselves, our fellow gamers in Japan will definitely love seeing their favorite stars pop up in a game. This was something which proved true in 2018 when Yakuza 6: The Song of Life came out. Another fantastic game from Sega, who are killing it now that they don't have to worry about making consoles anymore. This crime saga takes you right into the heart of the Japanese underworld. What Japanese players loved more than the gameplay, soundtrack, or graphics were the celebrity cameos. Pro wrestling is just as big in Japan as it is in America, and the New Japan Pro Wrestling franchise is as big as it gets. Yakuza 6 delivers the goods here, with a whole swath of NJPW superstars showing their masks' faces at one point or another. Ellen Page. A thing which we've seen happen in our time as gamers is the growth of legitimate stars showing up in games. This would have been unthinkable even in the PS1 era, but it's kinda commonplace now. Here's a genuinely brilliant actress who makes everything she appears in better by the mere fact of her appearing in it. Whether it's the X-Men franchise, Inception, or her breakthrough role in Juno, her name on the poster makes us want to check out whatever it is she's in just a little bit more. So when it was announced she was going to appear in the game back in 2012, we knew we had to play it. The game in question was Beyond Two Souls, and Ellen Page played the role of Jodie. While in our opinion this game could have done more for us, what we can't fault is Ellen's performance in it. You can find yourself wanting to learn more about her character and spend time with her. That wouldn't be the case with just any old actor. It's Ellen Page who makes this game. Sir Patrick Stewart. Some people have such distinct and distinguished voices. You only have to hear them to know it's them. One of the best examples we can think of is Patrick Stewart, or as we really should call him now that he's been knighted by the Queen, Sir Patrick Stewart. The man behind Captain Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek: The Next Generation has a wonderful voice. It's warm, rich, and with zero trace of an accent from his native Huddersfield, England. So back when The Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out, we knew it was him as soon as Emperor Uriel Septon VII opened his mouth and gave us the premise of the game. Of course, with this being an Elder Scrolls game and all, we knew he wasn't going to be around for long. The Emperor told us as much in his soliloquy, so we had to sit back and bathe in the glory of this acting knight's voice. Sir Patrick may have become a household name by leading the crew of the Starship Enterprise, but he took a long time to become an overnight success. Susan Sarandon. Every now and then a game comes along that seems to resonate a lot with gamers. Back in 2012, this happened with Dishonored. The stealth action adventure experience drew heavily on the steampunk aesthetic and was loved for the way it looked as much as the way it played. It also featured a stellar cast, including John Slattery, Chloe Moretz, Lena Headey, and the late great Carrie Fisher. However, there was one star who stole the show in a small but ultimately memorable role. That star was Susan Sarandon. She played the character of Granny Rags, the old blind and mad woman who had gone from the top of the aristocratic high society to the very bottom living on the streets. She plays a vital part in the game, and even now, she's very, very high on the list of things people remember from the game. ARIANA Grande. Something which has really taken off in recent years is mobile gaming. With the rise of the smartphone, you don't necessarily have to splash out on a console or top-of-the-range PC if you want the very best gaming action. There are some massive franchises available to play on your smartphone. When we heard there was going to be a mobile Final Fantasy game, we must admit we were rather baffled. We weren't exactly sure how the classic Japanese RPG series would translate onto a handheld device. However, when Final Fantasy Brave Exvius came to our phones in 2017, we were pleasantly surprised. Okay, some of the intricacies we've been used to in the series were missing, but overall it was a good, fun, and highly playable experience. There was one thing we weren't expecting though, and that was a bit of a surprise when it turned out you could play as ARIANA GRANDE. Yes, the ARIANA GRANDE. Well, sort of. You see, you could play as a dangerous ARIANA character, who was clearly based on and influenced by the Dangerous Woman singer. The character's look was based on the cover of her third album. We liked it, it helped bring gaming to a new audience, and, we might hazard a guess, brought Ariana's music to gamers. And that's all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. What's your favorite celebrity appearance in a video game? Are there any celebrity cameos we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to The Gamer.